Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like and also share to other members to watch as well. Can you equally leave a comment at the comment section or send us a voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277 128 777. Thank you. Please, I want you to join me listening to a hot political gist which come your way right now. Which I want you to join me listening to what is happening in the political arena. Please stay tuned to the end. We'll be right back. Thank you.
How is it?
Sometimes we make economics, sound
like rocket science, eh?
Like rocket science. It is not. The application of common sense and a study of trends and so on establishes economic principles.
Right.
You don't have to go to university to be professor before and so on. Just apply your common sense. You see, one, gold is a non-renewable mineral.
True.
Agreed.
A fact.
And you don't have to be a professor to know this.
True.
It's a non-renewable resource.
Yes.
Okay. Which therefore means that reliance on gold, especially absolute reliance on gold, is not a sustainable thing. The mere fact that it is not renewable.
It's depleted.
Because it will get to a point when it will finish.
It's not infinite.
It's not infinite. It's not renewable.
It's finite, yes.
You understand? So it is not sustainable. Now, what are we doing now? We are buying gold in quantities which are unprecedented. And that is a credit to the gold board. You understand? And using that to buy dollars in order to shore up the city.
Right.
It is working for now. It will not work for all time because gold is a non-renewable mineral. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you check the statistics, what we are getting today with all the things that Sammy Gyamfi has said and so on, is far in excess of what the big mining regular companies are producing.
True.
Far in excess. Far in excess of what the licensed mining companies are producing. So the legitimate question then is, where is the gold coming from? Could it be coming from Galamsey operations? Could it be gold smuggled from neighboring countries and so on? It's a legitimate question. And we need to answer that question. Now, however, having answered that question, another question pops up. Let us imagine that 10% of the gold we are buying, 20% of the gold we are buying, is coming from illegal mining. Now, if you don't buy it, what happens to that gold?
Smuggle it.
And what is the effect of that on the national economy? So we need to have a holistic approach, to all of these issues and so on. Now, something significant has happened, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and sometimes I wonder whether they really understand the currency business in West Africa. I think they don't. You see, the city appreciated in value to the point where it was exchanging at 10 to $1. Within a couple of weeks, it has appreciated to 12.3. In spite of the fact that we are still buying gold, and we are using the gold to buy dollars to shore up the strength of the city.
You mean it's depreciated?
Yes.
It's depreciated to 12.
So what is happening? Now, the intelligence people will tell you that the money trade is a West African thing. It is not Ghanaian. It's a West African thing. So money changes in Togo, Benin, Nigeria, La Côte d'Ivoire, and so on, they study the West African market. When they realize that dollars are available in Ghana cheaply, they rush to Ghana to buy and take it out. You understand? So you can sit in Ghana, take all the right measures and so on. If you don't control the money trade in Togo, in Benin and Nigeria, it's like pouring water into a basket.
That's true.
So we need to understand the transnational nature of the money trade. If you don't understand the transnational nature of the money trade, you'll be beaten about the bush. And that is why I thought that organizations like ECOWAS and so on must play an important role in the collective development of the economies of West African states. These measures ought to go finally to ECOWAS. ECOWAS has to adopt a common position on currency trading. Because we alone as Ghana cannot fight this battle and win. Because it's a transnational trade. You understand? But I haven't heard anybody speak about this transnational dimension of the value of our currency and so on. Then there's another point. What are we looking for? Are we just looking for a strong cedi, or we are looking for something else? Because you see, the strength of the cedi has multiple effects on multiple sectors. So when the cedi appreciates in value, exporters suffer.
That's true.
That's a fact, basic economic fact. When the cedi appreciates in value, especially within a very short time, and the value of appreciation is so high, exporters suffer shocks. So then, in relation to thinking with the value of the cedi, we ought to be thinking about what kind of economy do we want to build? Do we want to build an export-led economy? Or we want to build an import-consuming economy? Or do we want to create a balance between the two? That goes hand in hand, as they say in France, in French, para passo, with the tinkering with the cedi.
Pari passu.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. My friend teaches me this.
No, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Thank you.
Pari passu.
Pari passo.
Yes. Pari passu.
Pari passo.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
You know.
Hand in hand.
But that's the point I'm making.
Okay.
So we've got to be thinking multi-dimensionally. Otherwise, we'll be beating about the bush.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Now, look at the world. Look at the whole world. Japan, take Japan. Japan doesn't have a strong currency, does it?
No, it doesn't.
And you think that the Japanese could not take measures to strengthen their currency?
They can if they want to.
But Japan depends largely on exports. Look at Ghana. I haven't counted, but just from looking, watching our streets and so on, it would seem to me that about 70 to 80% of the vehicles on our roads are Japanese made.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, if you strengthen the Japanese currency,
It becomes more expensive to buy them.
those vehicles become more expensive. The European market, the American market, and so on become the beneficiary
True.
of a strong Japanese currency.
Yes.
You understand? China. What is the strength of China's currency? China doesn't have a strong currency because its economy is export-led. So we've got to be thinking.
So basically, what do we want?
That's the key
Fundamental
question.
question
What
to
do we
answer.
want?
That's the fundamental question.
Yeah, we have not
what
answered.
do we want? How do we want to position the economy?
Yeah.
What kind of economy do we want to build and so
Yeah.
on? All of that ought to be related to the kind of currency we have
And how we are managing it.
and how we are managing the currency.
Very true.
So this drop and fall in the rate of the cedi is not all. There are many other ingredients that we have to add on. You understand? I haven't again had the empirical evidence. I haven't looked at the statistics and so on. But I'm sure that within the last 6 months, exporters are really crying.
Oh, they met the president a few weeks ago. They met him because they had serious issues.
Yes.
Where the president even talked
Where the
about
president
how
even talked about how
we're trying to
move
peg
it a little
the
bit.
dollar between 10 and 12.
12, yes,
You know,
yes.
yes.
But you see,
Because there are
the
serious
real
concerns.
problem is the kind of politicians we have in this country. Many of our politicians stopped thinking a long time ago. Thinking is too difficult for them, so they stopped thinking. So our politicians, all of them, what they tell us is that, oh, when inflation comes down, it is good. When inflation goes up, it is bad. Very poor analysis. The politicians come and tell us that when the CD's strength increases, oh, good news. When the CD strength falls, bad news. Poor analysis, extremely poor analysis. Indeed, lazy, very lazy analysis. And these are the politicians we have. These are the politicians we have. That's the problem. No serious scientific analysis. Just pedestrian, vote-grabbing, propaganda analysis. That's what we have. Master, I lie. If I lie, tell me.
Collins, what do you think? Is a stronger city good or bad for us?
It depends on the context.
It depends on the context. But
Yes, I mean,
the rhetoric in Ghana has been that we want to build an export-led economy.
true.
Everybody
In fact, that's
talks
what
about
the 24-hour economy is all
Yes,
about.
everybody talks about the fact that that's what even the whole idea of the
24.
1D, 1F,
Yes,
trying
yes,
to build
yes,
more
yes.
factories in order to produce what we eat and export some. So the whole idea is to be
In
more
fact,
export
the
driven.
bigger context is restructure our economy.
Yes, more
Restructuring
export
our economy
driven
to make-
rather than
yeah.
buying
Import-led.
importing everything that we need. So that is where we want to be. But as Kwesi said, I think we have to be careful and draw a certain balance. Even government itself pegged the dollar to 15 cedis in their budget.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm wondering what my good friend Ato will be thinking about now, coming back to Parliament with the media review, because all his exports.
And we also pegged the price of crude oil at
That's the
75.
point I'm making.
And now it's around 60 something.
That's the point I'm making. So when your export price now, the CD has gained so much strength, has dropped down to 10. What happens to your export revenue that you're expecting? So these are things that we have to have a proper discussion about. But generally, my brother, if you had $10,000 and you needed 150,000 Ghana cedi to buy, and now you need 100,000, every importer will be excited about it. Because the gain that the importer is getting within that period is very, very high. But here we are, the exporters have gone as far as the president to tell the president that yes, you may be excited about the figures you are seeing, but we also play a significant role in the economy, and we are bleeding on the basis of the strength of our currency. People are virtually saying that your products are becoming too expensive. Because now people need more dollars to come and buy the same product they used to buy from you some 6 months ago. I think we need to sit and draw the balance. The last time we were here, Kwesi talked about, I was listening to even one economist, that sharp decline may seem exciting, but it's not too exciting for him. He was having a lecture that he would prefer a gradual drop and then a stability, so that if you are an exporter or an importer, you know that within the next 6 months, 1 year, the dollar will be 11.5, 12. So you calculate and plan with that kind of rate. But if you plan with 12 and it drops to 10, drops to 9, it may push away your entire cash flow projections. So these are things that we have to discuss. But
So I get it.
No, but
So-
also,
Kwesi's point about politicians not thinking.
But am I lying? Boss, am I lying? Just tell me.
Kwesi, I'm a politician. I'm here with you. Kwesi.
Yeah,
He hasn't stopped.
Are you people really thinking? Please, excuse me, but look, because if you are thinking, you will not come and tell us that when the value of the CD falls, you are in crisis or something. You will do a proper analysis. Yes, sir. But I was going to say something, Moro. You see, the drop in the value of the dollar in relation to the CD for now would appear very good for the consumer. You understand
Yes.
why? Because we are so hugely dependent on imports.
True.
Look, Ghana is the third largest importer of tomato paste from Germany. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I saw the report.
We are actually importing tilapia. We are importing kontomire.
Really? I saw the report of Willie.
Oh, my friend, Wele. Yemadia.
Yeah, my dear, yeah.
Yemadia is imported.
Yes. We import guinea fowls.
We are importing guinea fowls from Denmark.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The Yamadia figure I saw was
So,
in the millions of dollars.
Yeah.
so when the value of the cedi rises, for the ordinary average consumer, it would appear to be good news. But for somebody sitting down, planning the economy and placing Ghana in a certain position so that we can move into the future with confidence and so on, you have to do a lot more thinking than this pedestrian thing about.
So I would say what you're saying is that we even risk killing the export sector.
We could.
Because if I don't find it,
We could. Even if you don't kill it, we would injure it to the extent that it
would have an
find it very
adverse effect
difficult
on us.
to rise. Yeah.
But how about those who also say that, yes, granted all the things that you've said, but if you look at a country like Ghana where our debt levels have ballooned to a certain extent, and about 40% of that component of that debt is as a result of the depreciation of the cedi. So then if the cedi appreciates, then you would pay far less than what you're supposed to pay when you're servicing your debt.
In cedi terms.
In cedi terms.
Yes, that's the point you have to make.
always
Yes,
break
in
down
cedi
in
terms.
So the
Yes.
dollar component is
But
still
you
the
see, when
same.
you're talking about debt and how our debt is ballooning and so on,
Yes.
I'm sitting with the expert that you're asking me. Ask Collins.
Well, what makes him an expert?
You saw how far his government took us when it came to piling on
But
debt.
that doesn't make him an expert.
No, his government was the expert.
So that's
Your government was the expert. Your government has all the expertise.
so I'm talking about
We
the
just approved
net
it. We just
effect.
approved 360.
Well, it's going up. But I'm saying that it's cheaper today. It is cheaper today to service our debt as it would have been
Of course,
last
you
year,
need
right?
more less CDs to
Exactly.
convert to dollar
Exactly.
to pay.
That's the point
But
I'm
there's
making.
one good thing too is that because of the debt restructuring,
Yes.
a lot of the repayment has been shifted.
Well, we've just kicked the can down the road.
You're not getting my point. So now the pressure on the dollar now is not as used to be.
No, I get that.
Fantastic. So some of the things Kwesi was talking about, are we building a lot of buffers? Because next year, if currently the dollar requirement is just 2 billion,
Never heard of sinking fund?
I'm coming. That's why I'm praying that they are building the buffers.
Okay.
Because now, if the dollar requirement now is 2 billion and Sammy Gyamfi has about 5 billion,
Yes.
there's excess.
Yes.
So the city will always get some. What if in the next year you then have to start the repayment? In addition to the 2 billion request now, you need about another 3 billion.
Yes.
Then you have a challenge.
Yes, I get that.
So that is why I'm praying that I'm sure the managers of the economy understand this, and they will be building some buffers so that when the time comes for the repayment, you not be boxed up.
So essentially the point you're making is that even these buffers we're talking about, these reserves you're talking about, is incumbent. It's incumbent to the extent that it's only a matter of time. We're going to
The
deplete it in
sinking
order
fund,
to
the whole
service our
idea of the
debts.
sinking fund is to build some money
Yeah.
for some repayment.
Yeah,
So that
that's
when
what
the
I'm
time
saying.
comes,
Yes.
you are not caught pants down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Okay, so we don't necessarily have to tax
Yes,
business.
that's the whole
I get
idea.
it.
Yeah, that's
I
the
get
whole
it.
idea.
I get it. All right, so we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at still staying with the economy. We're told that the 1 cedi per litre policy, which was announced just recently, which was actually had to be postponed because of what was happening between Israel and Iran, is actually going to kickstart on the 16th of this month, according to the Ghana Revenue Authority. And so we'll look at that. But we'll juxtapose that as against what the PURC report has said about the new tariffs. And we'll see whether we can make sense of that conversation. So please. She's gone to court, Human Rights Court. She said her rights are being violated. The Attorney General has responded to the issues he's raised in her affidavits. And I read some of it in that story. This is the first time you're going to be commenting on this matter. Let me first of all pick your thoughts on what you made of what you make of the presser that she held, and then a decision to go to court to ventilate her rights.
But I think I've commented enough
Not on this platform.
on these matters.
Yes.
You know, and I like to just sum it all up.
Okay.
When a Chief Justice, in this case, suspended Chief Justice, who has presided over the bench, publicly alleges that judicial processes and quasi-judicial processes can be influenced politically. What can I say? She was Chief Justice. She presided over the judiciary. And she's saying that the institution that she presided over can be politically manipulated. How did she come to that conclusion? From experience? How did she come to that conclusion? And indeed, if that institution can be politically manipulated, is that not the strongest case for resetting? So she makes her own case, and I'm not going to spend time, discussing what she has done or is doing or is likely to do. The Constitution prescribes various parameters for dealing with cases which arise out of the administration of justice and so on. And we should all follow the process to the end.
But why take her to Edu Lodge? It reminds her of 1982. It's psychological torture.
You see...
Not you, I'm asking.
No.
You. Yes.
You are asking a question which elicits responses which may not be in her best interest. You see, if you have a Chief Justice who is afraid of tall walls, you have a problem. Now the walls are too tall. It's a huge problem for the administration of justice. You understand? If you have a Chief Justice who is unable to shake off prejudice that stems from family history, you have a huge problem. You understand? If you have a Chief Justice whose appreciation of the law is problematic, you have a big problem on your head. I think that her press conference did her a lot of damage.
Really?
Yes. But perhaps it's not her fault. She's a judge, perhaps a learned lawyer. She doesn't know how the media operates and the impact that such media recklessness can cause. So maybe it's not her fault.
Okay, so she's been a lawyer for 30 years and a judge
Yes,
for
so
20
she can deal
years.
with the law.
Yes.
But when it comes to organizing press conferences and the impact of press conferences, she's not an expert. And that's why she did, perhaps she did what she did. Because look, for a Chief Justice to suggest that the process she wants to defend, the institution she wants to defend, can be politically manipulated, I think that's huge. For a Chief Justice to address the media and make statements which suggest that she's not aware that 3 decisions had already been made by the Supreme Court on a matter that she wanted the Supreme Court to adjudicate, it's a huge problem. For a Chief Justice to hold a press conference and announce that she can't shake off prejudice, springing out of family history, that's a huge problem. But she didn't do herself any good at all. I don't think that she did herself any good at all by holding that press conference.
Okay.
If I were her, I perhaps would not have done the things that she has done, and perhaps she intends to do. I'm being very, very charitable. Is that not how they say it? Boss, is that how
You mean very, very measured?
Yes, today.
Yes.
For good reason. I mean, sometimes I look at her, I watch her on television, I read what she says and so on. And I can't help sympathizing with her. I can't help having a certain sense of pity and so on. But she should cut her losses. If I were her, she should cut her losses. I mean, she's matured enough to know what is good for her and what is not good for her. I'm not the one to advise her. I think she's really, she's really, really, really. It's okay.
Okay. So, Collins, I mean, opinions are divided sharply as to whether the Chief Justice, based on everything that's happening, to resign or to fight on to the end of the process.
Master, our opinions don't matter. And
she says,
no,
but I'm driving at something. And she says,
I hope you're driving at something which does not require
those who are asking her,
but she has already made her point. That she's going to fight.
Those who want her to resign,
she fight.
She said she won't resign.
Yeah.
Because she resigns, she will lose entitlements.
She should fight, no problem. Why? Who prevents her from fighting?
Okay.
It is not the fight that she puts up which is important. Ultimately, what is important is what that Article 146 committee decides and the president's decision. These are the two most important.
The president is bound by the decision of the committee.
Yes. So, we are waiting.
Anyway.
We are waiting. I don't think her advisors are doing her much good.
Okay. We have some 8 minutes. Let's see if we can do this quickly. It's about Galamsey. Quite a number of things are happening.
Now, you haven't read one message from our viewers.
No, I have. In fact, Kojo Chumbuafu sent me a message. In fact, as you know. Yes, Kojo Chumbuafu says that, but that's a question to you. Please, can you ask my nephew Collins why he sat silent when Ken Oforiatta was collateralizing ESLA till 2035? Is he aware that if he had ESLA, this levy won't have been necessary? That's a question from NSS Mora. Now I understand why the relatives of Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipu, and Private Udati Lamte to say that they are traumatized when they pass through the Christian Borg crossing. I get the sarcasm. The Christian Borg Castle, the story about that. So anytime their relatives pass by the Christian Borg Castle, it reminds them of what happened to, the sergeant, the good old sergeant. Anyway, so Tafai Nameha says that why do they keep comparing the constitutional process that is being used to see whether she's guilty of the allegations that are being made against her with the murder of those high court judges? And then this one here from Musa Abatwa in Kumasi says that the GMA should stop pretending they are long GBA. That's not GMA. They've long acted as a wing of the NPP, and there's no need to deny it. The recent conduct clearly shows where their loyalties lie. And it's certainly not with the ordinary Ghanaian. If they chose to remain silent yesterday on the critical nation's issues, they should maintain that silence today. Jumping on defending the suspended Chief Justice now only exposes their hypocrisy and dishonesty. Now, Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says that greetings to you from the good people of the Holy Land of Mecca. I think Mr. Sammy Gyamfi and his team must be commended for the good work they're doing for Mother Ghana and for the matter, the nice party. I am so proud of him as a young man with such good ideas. I salute him and I will urge him to keep the good works. But my brother, I'm equally worried about what is happening in our water bodies and forest reserves. Something must be done and done quickly to save our forests and water bodies. Can you imagine out of 40 excavators seized and kept under the care of the police, 33 is gone missing, according to Madame Hanabisiu. This totally unacceptable. The police must be held responsible. Madame Hanabisiu, I greet you wherever you are this morning. She's actually busy fighting the Galamseyers. Now, there's a question for you.
In what capacity?
Oh, she's a Ghanaian.
Oh, okay.
So let me. So the Simmons, the Dean of Parliamentary Press Corps, once again, the Dean of Parliamentary Press Corps, I should ask you a question, Collins. So he sends me a picture of a story in his paper today, which says NPP sank Tor, Ghana Gas Company, new managers vow to revamp institution. He says I should ask you that Honorable Adomako is a deputy ranking member. Find out from him if he was happy listening to the new managers of Tor and Ghana Gas painting that sad state of the institution. And that's he wants me to ask you. Yes, sir.
There's a very significant development in Ghana's politics that I think everybody has overlooked.
What is it, sir?
I just came by it. Listen, it's in the Daily Post of today.
Okay.
Actually, on page 5. And the headline is Matters Day.
Yes.
NDC legal director slams attempts to link PNDC to NDC.
Oh.
And this is a major development, significant development. Let me read it. The Director of Legal Affairs for the governing National Democratic Congress, NDC, Godwin Edoji Tamaklo, has strongly criticized ongoing attempts to conflate the Provisional National Defense Council with the NDC, describing such efforts as intellectually dishonest and politically motivated. In a Facebook post on Monday, June 30th, 2025, Mr. Tamaklo questioned how listen to the language, any decent-minded person could continue to equate the two distinct political entities when they are clearly not the same. His remarks come in response to recent comments made during Matters Day commemoration, where some speakers sought to associate the NDC with the PNDC era, particularly in reference to the 1982 murders of 3 High Court judges and a retired army officer. This constant politicization of a tragic national event is unfortunate. It is done deliberately by individuals who want to score cheap political points using the memory of the murdered judges, Mr. Tamaklo stated. I mean, don't you think that is a seismic development in our politics?
Was that what he said exactly, or he's been misquoted?
I don't agree with him.
Well, whether you agree with him or not, this is the head of the legal directorate of the NDC saying that the NDC is not the PNDC.
So now he's disassociating himself from the PNDC.
Yes, the PNDC is different from the NDC. You understand? I mean,
was it quoted properly?
Yeah, it was quoted
how would
properly.
I know? I'm reading it from the newspaper.
Okay.
And mind you, this is the Daily Post. This is not the Daily Statesman.
Yeah, or Daily Guide.
Kwesi,
You know?
during the June 4th celebration, the NDC celebrated June 4th. I want my brother to play the voice of Fifi Kwesi. Fifi Kwesi, just this year, June 4th.
And why would you take Fifi Kwesi's words?
He's the general secretary of the party. He's the general secretary of the party.
He is the head of the legal directorate of the
He
party.
went as far as saying that anybody who wants to disassociate themselves from even the June 4th cannot claim to be a true NDC person. Fifi Kwesi, it's on record.
Yes.
But is PNDC NDC? Obviously.
What is he talking about?
Master, why do you ask me this question?
One is called PNDC.
My brother.
The other one is
my
called
brother.
NDC.
Edoji is my very good friend.
But there are some who say that they actually removed the P
And maintain the NDC.
and retain the NDC.
Yes. I said to solve this problem, it's a very simple problem.
Yes.
Play the tape of the general secretary of the NDC, who is the chief scribe of the party.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I heard it.
Master, go to the Facebook page of Edoji Tamaklo. Or why would you go to the...
I'm talking about the general secretary of the party.
This is the head of the legal director.
And the head of legal director reports to the general secretary. He reports to the general secretary.
Legal directory.
But his point is
Legal directory.
no, his point is that obviously his point is that what Fifi Kwesi said is at odds with what
Completely.
if indeed what
It is true. It is true.
Yes.
What Fifi Kwesi says is at odds with what Edoji Tamaklo is saying.
Yes.
But you see, the identity,
It's a
the
problem.
identity is a legal question.
Yes.
The identity is a legal question.
Yes. Not a political one. Politically,
Well,
they're the same.
there
But
is some political elements
Yes,
in it,
yes,
but
yes,
you know,
yes,
if you
yes.
drill down, you come to the legal
Yes.
question.
As far as to AFRC.
Edoji cannot take the positive of PNDC and reject the negatives.
Is that what
Simple.
you are
But he's talking
He hasn't
law.
done
He's
that.
not talking
What law?
politics.
What law is he talking about? It's my brother. When I finish, I'll call him.
Separate
What law?
and a different
What law?
legal
But
entity
Master, are you
from
saying that
PNDC.
you know the NDC better than Edoji? Are you saying that? for
I
one
can
moment?
tell Edoji that Fifi Kwesi knows the NDC more than him.
How?
He's the general secretary. The history tells us, the history of Fifi Kwesi. He was a member of parliament. He was a communication director. He's not the general secretary of the party.
Your general secretary has been making statements that your party people want to beat him up.
This has nothing to do with my. This has nothing to do with my general secretary. Huh? This has to do with Edoji and his boss. Edoji and his boss, and I'm saying that.
I think you are not being fair to Edoji.
Oh, I'll call him. But what he's just saying is completely at variance with what his boss said, and I believe his boss.
But whatever it is, for somebody as prominent as Edoji Tamakwe, director of the legal department of the NDC, to make such a statement, don't you think it's a very significant statement?
Well, if he's disagreeing with his general secretary, fine. They will have an internal debate. But as for us, outside, we know the PNDC and the NDC are one.
This is what he's complaining about.
The founder of PNDC and all is one person. The leader of PNDC, who was he?
No.
Why is this statement so important to you? You're not told us.
Listen.
Yes, sir.
Masha, I think that you are deliberately, and I mean deliberately twisting facts.
I'm not twisting any fact, I'm Kwesi.
Because you know that the declaration of Mr. Rawlings as founder of NDC happened after the fact.
That's true.
Indeed, it was after 2000 that he was declared founder.
Yes.
And all of us who know the history of the party, as you can glean from Obeda Samuel's book and statements which have been made by people who formed the Reform Party and so on, it is obvious that he was not a founder of the NDC.
Right.
No, it's obvious that the only party that he can claim to have founded was the Eagle Party.
Right.
We know that as a fact.
What does the constitution? What does the constitution of the NDC say?
No, it says he's the founder.
When? After the party had been formed. After the party had won 2 elections.
The constitution of the NDC says that.
He's the founder of the party. Simple. All right.
So you think Edoji Tamakwe doesn't know the constitution of the party?
Edoji Tamakwe is wrong in his interpretation.
Okay. All right.
Hey, today you are shooting.
Lawyer,
Thank you for your time. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time, and once again says God bless you for the good work you are doing and continue to do for us. And to all our cherished viewers, we urge you to subscribe for more videos, like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can equally leave a comment at the comment section. Anything you think is not of your view, just drop a comment before logging out. Thank you.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.